Welcome to the Back to Strong series. This is the second video of the series so far. If you need to, go back to the first video down below. There's a link to it. It's all about what is a habit and how you can implement them into your daily lives and why it's so important to have such strong habits. So click below and then come back and join us for the next video series in our Back to Strong. I am Corinne Wenz, mother of three, elementary teacher, certified personal trainer, and also online coach. And it is my mission to spread the word about why it's so important to incorporate strong daily habits so that you can live a life that is efficient, clear of stress and distraction. And that's what we're talking about, especially today. Today's video is so important with adding to our strong habits, is being intentional with our habits. And like I always try to do, is give you the definition. So the definition of being intentional means to be done on purpose or deliberate. So you need to be deliberate with your habits. You need to make sure you're doing it with intention each day, because when you do that, you are reducing your stress and you're reducing your distractions. So for example, if you want your work area, say it's a desk or a room in your house, and you would like it to be an organized space, okay, you need to be intentional with that. So you can make sure every day at the end of your day that you are putting pens in a certain spot, papers in a pile that makes sense to you. Maybe you have something that you need to look at right away. That's going to be in a certain pile. You have something that you can file away, you put it away, or you have a drawer system, something that makes sense to you and for what you're trying to accomplish, and then you wipe down your area. You want to think of it as if somebody came into your workspace, could they figure out and find things? Would they be able to see where you're placing items? Does it make sense? Think of it as, even for me as a teacher, if a substitute's going to come into my room, are they going to be able to survive? Or am I leaving it in a distracted way where I come in the next day and it's a mess and it already throws me off? So you want to set yourself up every day. You're intentional with your clean space and organized area. And that's just going to set you up with, you're not going to be stressed out. You're not going to have the distraction of trying to find things. You will already be intent and be ready for your day. This quote right here is from Denzel Washington, and it hits so much of the purpose of this video today. As a society, we really kind of thrive on thinking that the busier we are, the more we're accomplishing, when in actuality, we're doing the opposite. We're not getting anything done because we're so busy with we don't even know. So let's take two examples here. The first is you're at home and you want to make sure that your home is clean and you're running around from room to room, picking up random things here and there. I know for myself, I have children, they love to just put anything anywhere, and it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to them. And you try to pick up all over, and by the end of it, you're tired, and two, you've done really nothing that you can show of because there's still so much everywhere and you didn't find an intentional pickup system. So let's break it down. Think about each room of the house. Think about the days of the week. You could take Mondays as your kitchen day. Your kitchen is going to get a full wipe down, vacuumed, mopped, whatever. And then throughout the week, obviously you're still going to be unloading and the dishwasher and loading it back up, those types of things. but the real nitty-gritty cleanup has already been done, and you can manage the little things that happen in the kitchen throughout the week because you've already done the major cleaning for that one day, and you'll come back to it the next week again for that specific day. Now, your family room might be a hot mess on that Monday, and it might take a lot for you not to go into that room, but just know that that family room's going to get its day. You're going to get it all squared away, vacuum cleaned, and then you can also have a space for little things that you can put away, and also ask for help. If you know that you're cleaning up this area really fully, ask for help so that everyone is part of making sure that each part of the house is cleaned up. And then you don't have to be distracted by the other rooms. You know you're going to get to it and you can be okay with it. And if someone comes over, they can be okay with it too, because we don't got time for all that. You are going to be a-okay with just a simple system of cleaning up certain days so that you have an intentional process. The other example is your work environment, whether it's a classroom, a room in your home, or at the office. And you think about that time when you can get things done. Maybe if you're working at home, the baby naps at a certain time, or you have a planned period, or you have a certain designated time that you're able to get work done. But you always come to that time and you've got that beautiful time, but you don't know what to do with it because you haven't set your intentions. You need to be intentional with what you're doing. Again, we're going back to certain days for certain things. So Mondays, if I'm talking in the classroom, I might be making sure that all my copies for the next week are ready. Maybe not the Monday. I'd probably do that more in the middle of the week. Or I'm going to make sure that I'm looking at data that I want to implement into my lessons and make sure that I'm meeting with the students I need to meet with. And then the next day, I know that I'm going to grade papers. Okay. And that's all I'm going to do. Yeah, there's going to be other stuff. There's always other stuff. But again, just be intentional with your time because there's always going to be that distraction of other things, but you will get to it on that specific day. You just have to understand that you don't have to get to all of it at one time. You break it down and then you're still being more efficient and you're going to be less stressed because you've gotten things done. You know when you're going to get it done. Now, will there be things that happen at your time? Yeah, I get planned periods and then all of a sudden there's a meeting during this time and a meeting during that time and I have to just be, oh well, I'm gonna get back on track. Always remember you can get back on track. Okay. So how do we make sure that we are intentional with our time and habits? Well, you need to plan it out. For myself, I was a paper pencil person, and I've actually linked below. You can get a daily planner page that I have for you, and it is broken down by the hour, and that's how I had to do it really to be intentional when I first started this because I just was all over the place. Now you may find that the digital world is better and there's a lot of beautiful digital planners out there. I'm showing Etsy on the background right now. There's also Teachers Pay Teachers is another website. I'm sure Amazon has something, whatever is going to fit for you. So I'm going to kind of talk about what I did with the paper pencil. I took Sundays. Again, doesn't have to be Sundays. I used to think that I talked to somebody about this where they thought they always had to do their meal prepping and their planning always had to be on Sunday and Sundays were crazy for them. No, honey, if you need to do it on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, whatever, at least pick a day where you're going to plan out your week where it makes sense for you. So for me, Sundays worked out. It's a chill day for us. Luckily, we don't have crazy activities on Sundays. And I would know what's upcoming as in meetings, practices, what's going on with school, anything that's going to affect my schedule. I already have that planned. have a list of it. And then you're going to think about your non-negotiables for yourself, because really in the end, you need to be happy. You need to be using time for you. So for me, I need to make sure that I'm getting a daily walk in. I'm making sure that I get my workouts in some way. And then maybe I'm going to make sure like I can get a friend date sometime in that month. It might not happen. It's not going to happen every week. I ain't got time for that. Love it, but it just doesn't work out that way. So those are my non-negotiables, where I'm going to make sure that I am doing things that make me happy. So what are your non-negotiables? Maybe you want to make sure you're always giving yourself time to read a book, or you also want to do walks or hikes or something like that. So you're gonna write that down. So I look at my week and I plan out and I put in the things that are already happening, the practices, what have you, my work time, and I'll even say what I'm doing at work by the hour, because it just helps me to be intentional with my time. And I'll write in, okay, for me, again, going off of what works for me, I know that I have to do things for myself before everyone wakes up. I just can't stay up any later. It just doesn't work for me. I've tried to do workouts at nighttime and I would usually always skip it. It just didn't work for me. But if I set my alarm for a good old 5 a.m., I'm going to get that workout done, or I'm going to get that time that I've put aside to fit curriculum, and I'm going to do what I need to do in that time. So if that just means that you need to try for waking up 30 minutes a little earlier, try it and see how it works for you. You get a little time. Or if you're able to stay up later, go for it. But designate that time where you are going to spend, 20 minutes when the kids go to bed and you're going to read. Make sure you're still scheduling the time for you, so that you're feeling happy and healthy and taken care of. So when you are intently planning, okay, it sounds so rigid, but I even planned, like, especially on the weekends when we're having all these crazy times, I plan where I'm going to hang out with my kids, which sounds so silly. Like, of course, I'm always going to hang out with my kids. But when I know I need to do other things and my kids are asking me to play, I'll say, I'm going to go do this chore first because this is what I planned. And then we're going to hang out afterwards. We're going to go in the pool, or we're going to go to the playground or whatever. And they know that I've made time for them and it's going to happen, but mommy has to get other things done first, and that's okay. They need to know that there are things in place and priorities as well, and they're always a priority. They know that, but they also know that if they don't want a crazy mama, they need to let me get some things done too. So just know that you can have it planned and still enjoy yourself at the same time. As you continue on this journey, remember this: repetition, not perfection. You're getting better and better each time you do this. There are going to be weeks or a couple days that are going to throw you off. That's life. I mean, I know with whenever school gets back to starting up, it's going to be crazier, and my habits that I have in place will kind of waver a little bit, but I know that I can get back on track once I figure out a new schedule and routine. And sometimes that's what happens. You have to know that you're going to, ebb and flow with your schedule. When new things come up, new practice schedules, everyone has to get used to it. Everyone has to get into the flow of it. And you just do the best that you can with being intentional with your time, lay it out, and then you're going to see that the more times you do this, the easier it is to get back on track. Okay? Because it's going to happen. It happens to me all the time. I'm not going for perfection. I'm just going so that I can be efficient and enjoy my time and handle when the bumps in the roads happen. So always remember, give yourself grace, and you're going to do great. I am so very thankful for you for joining me on this journey. And I hope that you let me know down in the comments below, what intentions are you going to set for your habits this coming week? How has it been going with your habit tracker? Which was also in the first video. You can get that link so that you can have your habit tracker, keeping track of your habits. Also below, remember, there's a daily planner that you can click. And also you can find my website below, which will have a blog post that goes along with this video if you're also liking to read more and getting a little more information on how to be intentional with your daily habits. Remember, this is going to reduce your stress, reduce your distractions of the everyday lives. Please like, subscribe so you get up to date notices when I am making these videos, and always share the love.